Okay, good morning. Welcome to technology class today. We are going to be making a die, or as a group, we're going to be making dice. Like the board game when you play it and you roll the dice, we are going to be making that. We're going to be making a die. So we are going to be using Autodesk Inventor. I have already logged in. And this is my home screen here. Yours will look similar. If you haven't logged in yet and you don't know how to, your username is your lunch number, and your password is the first 3 letters of your last name and then the random numbers that the school gave you. And that's what you're going to need to log in. Once you get in and you see this screen here or something similar, you are going to click on the Autodesk Inventor Pro logo, and it is this orangish, yellowish box with the letter I. Double click it, and it will take a minute to load. It's a big program, sometimes it takes a minute. Your Autodesk privacy statement, if it comes up, agree. And then you can wait, and sometimes there's a few more things that come up. And just hit OK or accept, and it should take you to your main screen. When I log in, I have multiple options of things to select because I have been making things on this program before. If this is your first time here, you won't have anything to select here because you haven't saved anything. Even if you do have stuff here, we are going to be starting a new drawing today. So I'm going to go to the upper left-hand corner, and there is a picture of a piece of paper with the corner folded over, and that is your new drawing icon. So if I click on it, now I have my new file screen. I am going to select up in this upper right-hand corner, standard inch part. Sometimes you have to slide over to find it. I could see mine in mine, but I would hit the standard IPT, standard inch part, not the ones down here, not a standard inch drawing. Okay, none of the other standard inch part at the top, and then hit create. It's going to take a minute. It's loading all that information. But one of the nice things is now when I make my part, if I type in 5, it'll know I mean 5 inches. If I type in 10, it knows I mean 10 inches. So I don't have to ever type out inches. It automatically knows that's what I mean. So it's loaded. I have this big gray blank space. I want to go up to start a new sketch. So right here, I have my sketch buttons. Don't click on the words 2D sketch because sometimes you pull down the arrow and change it. Go up to the picture up here. That's your 2D sketch. And I can just click it. And now I get these planes or flat surfaces. And I can choose which surface I want to start drawing on. They kind of look like 3 tan or brown windows that are kind of like all intersecting each other. We will pick this one here, the XY plane. It's highlighted in green. And we will click on that one. If you click on the wrong one, it's not going to be a big deal. But we're going to click on the XY plane. And now my screen changed in my toolbar at the top. And I can see these crosshairs here. And that's showing me the X and the Y coordinates or the lines there. Just kind of lets me know that I'm going straight up and down and straight side to side. We are going to be making a square. So I am going to use the rectangle tool. So I have some of these drawing tools here. And I'm going to click on the picture of the rectangle. This is a 2-point rectangle. So in order to make a rectangle or square, I click where I want one corner to be, and then I release it, drag it down, and click a second time, and I should have a square or a rectangle. So I'll start in the upper left-hand spot. I click it, and I'm dragging it down until I think it kind of looks like a square. It doesn't have to be perfect. And I click it again. Now I have my square, my general shape of a square, but it's definitely not perfect. I want to make it perfect now. So I'm going to go up here and click on the dimension tool. The dimension is where we're going to actually give it a size so that the shape is the right size and it's the right shape. So I'm going to click on the dimension tool. And now I'm going to scroll down until I'm over top of one of the lines. This line, when I go over top of it, it turns green. And that lets me know which line I'm pointing at. Sometimes, like this picture here, it's pretty obvious which one I'm pointing at. But some pictures, when we make them, there's going to be a lot of lines really close to each other. And this one's just saying, yep, you're pointing at this line right here. So when it's green, I'm going to click it once. And I should have a number that popped up. Now I'm going to drag it up just a little bit so it's off of my picture, and I'm going to click it again. I can see that my line was 1.4378241 inches. That's a very, very specific number, but it's not the number I want. I want it to be just the number 1. Because my screen, I only clicked it once, my screen, it's highlighted right here in blue. So I can just type in the number 1. And then I can either hit the check mark here, or I can hit enter on my keyboard. I'll hit the check, and it just made my square exactly 1 inch wide. Now, some of you may have hit the wrong number, or some of you may have had your screen look like your thing disappeared. What probably happened if it disappeared is that you're zoomed in so far that you just can't see anything. I'm zoomed in too far right now. I can't see that. So if this happened to you, what you need to do, I bumped that. Over here on the right-hand side of the screen, you should see a zoom all button or a home button. It looks like a piece of paper with a magnifying glass. If I click on that, it will zoom in and put my drawing perfectly in the middle of the screen again. That's a good button to understand and remember, because sometimes you will accidentally zoom in or zoom out, and that just kind of brings you back to where you want to be. If for some reason you typed in the wrong number, like I accidentally typed in 11. I hit the button too many times and I hit 11 instead of 1. It made it so big I can't see it. I can zoom it in and I say, oh shoot, that's not the right number. One of the nice things about using CAD is it's very easy to change things. So I can click on this and I can change it back to 1, hit the check mark, and now it's very tiny. So I can zoom back in and see it. Okay? So that'll help you if you make mistakes. Hopefully you didn't, but if you did, hopefully you corrected them. And now my dimension tool is still selected. I'm going to make my right hand line also 1 inch. Hit the check mark. I can't see the bottom, so I'm going to zoom home again. And now I have a 1 inch by 1 inch square. I do not want to or need to select the other 2 lines. Because I use the rectangle tool, the computer understands that this line and this line have to both be an inch. This line and this line have to both be an inch. If it wasn't, then it wouldn't be a square or a rectangle. If I click on it, don't do this, but if I click on it and try to put it here, it is telling me that I'm over constraining my sketch. I don't want to do that, so I hit cancel. The reason you don't want to do it is if you try to change the numbers later, if I said, oh, I wanted this to be 2 inches, but this side said it was 1 inch, the computer says you can't have one side be 2 inches and one side be 1 inch, and it doesn't understand. So don't say the top and the bottom, only say the top or the bottom, and don't say the left and the right, only the right or only the left when you're making a square or rectangle. Okay? Now we are going to turn this 3D because we want a 1 inch by 1 inch by 1 inch cube. So we need to turn this 2D sketch into a 3D model. And the way we're going to do that is in the upper left-hand corner, you should see where it says 3D model. If I click on that, now all my tools have changed, and we're going to hit the extrude button. When we are extruding something, we are taking that shape and we are going to push something through that shape. So I think of it as kind of like a cookie cutter. And basically, I made a 1 inch by 1 inch cookie cutter, and now I'm gonna shove the cookie dough through that cookie cutter, and it's gonna come out as a square. Now I have to determine how far I wanna push or how much cookie dough I wanna push through. I wanna push 1 inch worth of material through that cookie cutter, or 1 inch of extrusion coming out. My computer guessed 1 inch. If I wanted it to be more or less than that, I could type in 2. You can see on my screen it looks different, but I don't want to. I want 1 inch, and that's what it guessed for me. Now I hit OK, and I have a perfect cube. I can't see it all, so I zoom all, and now I can see my perfect 3D cube. If I want to look at different sides, over on this right-hand side, you could see this orbit tool. Kind of looks like some arrows going around a point. I can hit this orbit tool, and I can see what different sides look like. Or, I moved it off to the side. I can look at this, I can check out what the top view looks like. Or I can pick this angle and have it turn towards me. So I can see if I think it looks correct. It does. I like it. So now I am going to save my project. In the upper left-hand corner, there's this black square with a couple little white rectangles in it. That's supposed to look like a floppy disk. You guys don't know what floppy disks are, but that's how us old people used to save stuff. So now you can click on this disk. That's save as. I'm going to save it as DICE, D-I-C-E. And now I hit save, and you're going to notice up here it says part 1. See at the top? Oh, blocked you. Up at the top it says part 1 right here. When I hit save, it should have changed that part 1 to DICE. Now I know that it's saved, and I can feel free to close my computer. Okay? So, if you're done working for the day, you can now X out, close, and now you can go down to the lower left-hand corner to the start button, go up to this power button right here and go to shut down. Wait for the screen to go black. Now that I'm sure that it is turned off, I can close my laptop and I am ready to go plug it back in and put it away neatly. Have a wonderful day. See you later. Bye.